The Learning Perspective, Chapter 10. Classical conditioning. This is the pairing of a neutral stimulus, color, sounds, and objects, with an unconditioned stimulus. First stage, before conditioning. This is where there is an unconditioned stimulus, which is, in this example, would be the sour lemon, and then the unconditioned response, which would be the salivating. Second stage, conditioning starts. This is when you pair an unconditioned stimulus, or the lemon, with a conditioned stimulus. In this example, the conditioned stimulus is turning on the lights. After enough trials, you can condition the same response of salivating from biting a lemon when you turn on the lights.
Classical conditioning example. Generalization. Generalization is responding in a similar way to a similar but not identical stimuli. For example, a traumatic experience with a dog when younger turns into fear of all furry animals late in life. Emotional conditioning, sometimes used to refer to classical conditioning in which a conditioned response is emotional. Example, seeing the letter F over and over again in red makes Joey sad. Reinforcer. There are two types of reinforcers, primary and secondary. A primary reinforcer diminishes a biological need. For example, hunger is diminished by food. A secondary reinforcer has acquired reinforcing properties by association with a primary reinforcer. They can be used to get primary reinforcers. Positive and negative reinforcement. Positive reinforcement is receiving something to increase or strengthen a behavior. Negative reinforcement is removal of something negative to increase behavior. For example, taking away a cell phone so the child will do homework or chores. More about reinforcement. There are two types, social reinforcers and vicarious reinforcers. Social reinforcers are positive and negative reinforcement received from somebody else. Vicarious reinforcers are where reinforcement is experienced by someone else and has a reinforcing effect on your own behavior. Fixed ratio and fixed interval. A fixed ratio is a schedule of reinforcement means that reinforcement should be delivered after a constant or fixed number of correct responses. Fixed intervals have lower rates of responding than ratio, with complete absence of behavior after reinforcement. Extinction. Extinction is a weakening of a conditioned response. Example, a child having a tantrum and previously the parent scolded or soothed the child. Now the parent ignores the tantrum and over time, through many presentations, the child stops having a tantrum.
Successive approximation, the gradual reinforcement of behaviors that sequentially approximate desired behavior. Shaping, a form of successive approximation. For example, child reads book and says Jack and Jill, and father reinforces behavior by saying good, Jack and Jill. Child will reinforce and shape their behavior. Partial reinforcement, when behavior is followed by a reinforcer only some of the time, not all of the time. An example is if a child gets a gift after good behavior month after month and then 1 month doesn't get a gift.
Incentive and expectancy. Expectancy is the evaluation of whether a certain behavior will lead to the desired outcome. The incentive is the value of this desired outcome or goal. For example, if a child gets a sticker every day for good behavior or helping with chores, they will get a prize or reward at the end of the week.
Created using Powtoon.